Well, hello, and welcome back. I realized that I actually need to get a logo for Dash Incubator rather than rolling the Beyond Code logo, since these are the Dash Incubator streams and not the Beyond Code streams. But when I do that, I'm going to keep it labeled as Beyond Code logo roll uh, in the whatchamadoodle. What's the word I'm looking for? In the name, because Stream Deck does have alternate profiles, but not in that way. So basically, I just need to name everything the same between the different streams that I'm doing. Okay, so we should have, hold on. Okay, so we should have music, I think. Yep, we got background music. I'm just gonna, again, I'm going to make sure that we're on the right channel and all that, because even though it worked last time. Okay, it looks like we're live on YouTube. Oh, we've already got subscribers. Woo! And are we live on Twitch as well? Hey, we're live on Twitch as well. Okay, great. So it looks like we're live everywhere. It looks like, hey, I've got the chat up. So I think we are ready to rock and roll here. Of course, two things. One, I want to draw your attention to the lovely pumpkin Game Boy Advance Ultimate that I have there. I don't think it was sold in that color, and it certainly wasn't sold with that screen. It just looks so good there. Ooh. Anyway. And also, let's go ahead and pop a top, my friends. And if anybody's got a friend over at Pepsi wants to sponsor the channel, you know, just reach out. NBD. We'll do it. All right. And open focus. Ryan, we need to get Dash Incubator shirts as well. So then I'll take off my Beyond Code hoodie and I'll put on my Dash Incubator hoodie. I'm telling you, we got to go full brand. Dang, that GameCube looks so good back there. I don't know why it didn't look that good before. Doesn't it look so good? And look, oh, just today's a good day to notice my awesome background. Oh, it's also because I moved the chat, and the chat's transparent now, as you can see right there. Okay. All right, so all that fluff out of the way, let's go ahead and get down to business and defeat the Huns. We're going to Mulan code. All right. So, and then again, let me know if the music is too loud. It does look like it's pegging just a touch high. I am going to bring it down just a wee bit. Because that looks a little higher than I was expecting. So let's take it down another, I don't know, 2 dB, 3 dB. Okay. And we're just going to continue on with where we were. Yeah, was it yesterday? Feels like forever ago. Okay. What was I doing here? We did a pre-release. Oh, that's right. So this needs to get renamed to Bump, by the way. I was wondering how that worked before, and I just kind of assumed that it would always work. Because NPM, when you say NPM and blah, it will typically look in your scripts and then try to run blah. And in this case, it became recursive. Which kind of makes sense. Because that's what it's told to do. It's told to run npm version, and before npm run version would run the script version, which would then run npm version. Yeah, but it seems like now the default behavior seems like it's run the local script. That seems like that could be a security issue. Somebody runs npm install and then it doesn't do what they think it's going to do. But we're transitioning over to that. Package.json.scripts.version to bump. All right. And I was thinking about this last night, and what I might want to do is actually recreate the same functionality that dashcorelib presently has. I don't think I'm going to do it for this one, but I think when we get to wallet, at that point, I think I'm going to do it. And so I'm going to create a -incubator -corelib that has the same path for the transaction object. So anywhere somebody's using that just for transactions, they could have a drop-in replacement that does the right things, that has those 5 functions, and then that builds up the object by calling .to and .from and all those things. The one thing that it won't do... Okay, what's this? Oh, okay. The one thing that it wouldn't do without a little bit of extra work is matching up the keys to the UTXOs automatically. So I'd have to consider how that would work. But anyway, we'll go ahead here. I think where I left off was there's still one -corelib example in here that I wanted to update. Oh, this is BlockTX, sorry. Over here. So the README would have to be updated. -core. And this would be BlockTX equals require -incubator BlockTX, and then we would do -tx equals BlockTX.create, and then we would pass it in some things, version 3. I think that's really the only thing that needs to be passed in. And then we would have our payments. Let's see, new. So TX info is going to be inputs, core UTXOs. So Ryan and I decided on Satoshis. I suppose that somebody else could chime in if they want to, but I'm not going to call it units. I'm going to call it Satoshis. And then we're going to have some sort of let's see, inputs and outputs is mainly what was there. I think there was something else that needed to be there. Not quite ready for this one yet. And this would have -tx hash and sign all tx info, and then keys, and we would have some sort of let keys equals core utxos dot map. And then UTXO get private key buff for UTXO.address. And then this is basically what this would. this would be let tx hex, I think. No, let tx and then tx.transaction. Okay, here we could go. Okay, this is good. Private keys UTXO address. Even better. Awesome. So very little update to this, and this should work perfectly. As soon as I change the units to Satoshis. So we're going to queue up that change. Let me just put that in my little to-dos here. Okay. A new dash UTXO versus core. So dash UTXO. Satoshis. Yeah. Oops, sorry. That's going to be core UTXO, not dash UTXO. Satoshis, not units. And all accompanying nomenclature. There we go. Okay. So we're going to keep this as is. Okay. Alright, so this looks really clean. I like this. I have to make sure that this example actually works. And we do need some way... Well, if I'm going to take it like this, we just need some way to... We need a toPublicKeys function. toPublicKey async function. And this is going to have priv key buff, and then I'm just going to use the same function that we've already been using, toPublicKey. Just grab this one from right here, toPublicKey. Okay, why doesn't it like it? Somewhere there's bad syntax there. Well, I'll have to go through and actually make sure this runs at some point, and then at that point I'll obviously find the syntax error. It was compressed. Yeah. I think the DashTX version, which I'm pretty intent on creating, is just going to assume a set of dependencies. But you can easily overwrite them. Yeah, we'll assume a set of dependencies. We won't include them in the package.json. Not having them won't make anything fail, but we'll just include them. And we'll have those 5 utility functions. It's going to add an extra, 20 lines of code, 30 lines of code. Not a big deal. Short lines too, not complex lines. And then the documentation will be, if you want to use these built-in utility functions that are provided for you, then do it this way. But for the purpose of the documentation right now, I'm going to have this in here. And what else was needed? So we need 2 public key, and we need adder to pub key hash, which adder to pub key hash is in both of these as well. Great. B58C. Oops. Oops. And let's do, where was that base 58 check at? Right here. Yeah, I want to clean that up. There's a few things I want to clean up. This is one of them. About the logo roll, we should put a QR code in it so that the first person to see it can scan and claim a little amount of Dash. That is an awesome idea. Let's make a project for that to auto load the QR. Or we could use the same QR every time. We could use the same QR every time, because I was thinking we could use our QR tool, we could spit it out, we could have it be an asset. The asset could be referenced when the video scans. I like this idea, Ryan. I like this idea a lot, no matter which way we do it. I like this idea. You're a thinker, you are. Yeah. But we could either generate a new QR code every time, a new private address, and load it up and just have an automated process that does that. Or we could keep the same QR code. Oh, bless me. And we could just load it up every single time. Either way, there needs to be some sort of script that runs to load the QR code with some monenes for each video. But I like that idea. I think that's pretty darn cool. So yeah, get the Dash app and do the logo roll. And what do you think? $20? $10? I think you go any lower than $10 and it's not really an incentive. Okay, async function, doodly doodle. We could even have this whole thing could be in here like this. This is all this is needed for. Yeah. Same thing here. If that's all that's needed for. Boom, that's it. Okay, I am going to check and see why the syntax is failing on it. blah.js, paste. I'm complaining about 37. Oh. Right. Okay, here we go. So this looks good. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome. Nice to have you all here. Feel free to say hello. I'm just updating some examples right now, so we don't even have good syntax highlighting because it's inside of a markdown file, and my tools don't highlight that deeply. Okay, so I think this is it. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to copy this over into the file again and then just check to see if it looks really good. Okay, so some gripe about this. Oh, priv key buff. Okay, got it. Alright, that makes sense. Oh wait, yeah, it doesn't like the oh wait. That's okay. Yeah, we're just gonna let that await slide. Okay. So let's see about this. That should be good. And then I could rename all these from core UTXOs to just UTXOs, because across our ecosystem, that is what a UTXO is. UTXO, and there's going to be, I'm going to enumerate a few additional properties that a UTXO must have either address or pub key hash. A UTXO may have a Satoshi's, but we do not respect amount. Amount and value are right out. It's Satoshi's or bust. There's one way to specify the number. And Satoshi's is clear. It is the whatever unit it is. Oh no! No, don't drip. Don't drip. Can't have the can landing upside down. It's not appropriate at all. Okay. So that feels really good. The example here feels really good. Given that we have a mechanism to go to public key. So we're just gonna squish all of this away. This will be included. And I think if this is all we include, with the existing shim functions that are already there, I think we're done with the shims. I'll have to double check on that. And I think I'm just going to replace base 58 check with dash keys. Ah, right. You're right. If we use the same QR code. Yep, you're right. So, I agree. We have the tools. And in OBS, if we can't specify an SVG source, which we may not be able to, we can specify a web source, and we can put an SVG in a web source. So we can have a local file that references an SVG that we just write to when I press my stream button. And when I don't know how he has his set up, if it's scripted at all, but I've got mine where there are 4 different buttons. There's a Beyond Code button, a Stack.js button, a Rust button, and a Dash button. And so when I click the button, it selects the correct profile and everything so that it sets up the right stream key and yada yada. So the button is connected to a script. I press the button, and then I have a button to start the recording, and buttons to go to the timer screen. To the logo roll back here. And then when I have something on the desk, so let me see if I can get this thing to work. Maybe not. No SIM card installed. Yeah, that's expected. There's no SIM card. So then, let's see if this one works now. Okay, I don't know why that doesn't work. Let me just check something real quick. There we go. So I don't know why this isn't working. Meh, whatever. Wait, what was this one? Oh, that's just showing more of the chat. Got it. Okay. But if I wanted to, I could show the desk as well. There's a button. I was just saying there's a button for the desk. That's all I was doing there. That button's not working right. I want to get all this stuff configured much more correctly. Okay, so we got the balance transfer example going. I got the README example updated. So, whoops. Oh, there is a .get core UTXOs. Duh. Okay. But this should just be changed to get UTXOs, I think. Well, no, it shouldn't. And the reason that it shouldn't is because this is already V1.4. So if we wanted to make it a V2, then we can make that change. By BlockTX.hash and sign all. Okay. I wonder if that gives us pub key hash. Because it would be nice if it did. Okay, this script does contain the pub key hash. So we don't need, if we have the script, then the address is purely informational because the pub key hash is the 20 bytes from there to there. Hey, remember that script that I said was going to come in handy and I ought to finish it anyway? Just because it seemed like it would come in so handy? This little bit of code right here. Alright, now this comes in. Pub key hash equals... Okay. I don't remember where it goes off the top of my head. But somewhere... I needed the pub key hash. Why was I thinking I needed the pub key hash? I don't remember. Okay, but it's going to come in handy. I'm going to leave it there for now. Dash core lib. Okay, examples. Multisend. Dash core lib. BlockTX. Dash incubator. BlockTX. Oh, and then do I need to change units in here? Units. Let me just... Units. Satoshis. Output. Units. Push. Units. Satoshis, the number of smallest units of the currency. All right. Oh, is for the outputs, I think. The outputs have the pub key hash. That's what I needed the script pub key hash for. But I don't know if that'll actually work. Excuse me as I pick my nose. Got something stuck in there. Gotta get it out. Well, big nose, big problems. You know what I'm saying? I think I have... I thought for a while that I've got some sort of a deviated septum or something, because I pick my nose more often than anybody I know. Or at least I'm less discreet about it. Maybe other people just suffer with the itch. But I think other people don't really have the itch as much. Alright, anyway. Yeah, where the outputs are used, there really is no way to avoid the adder to pub key hash if it's not there. Let's see, where do we go for outputs? Okay, here we go. Output, Satoshis, pub key hash right there. So if not output.pub key hash, output.address, tx.utils.adder to pub key hash, output.pub key hash equals await. Oh, bother. Again, we're just going to have to do away with... And is I actually important in any of these? It is. What was that? That was not what I needed. Alright, so... Oh no! Is this the inputs function? Oh, please. Please, heavens, no. I don't think that ought to be async. I could. Would it be a mistake to make it part of the API that it has to be synchronous? Because then if I make that, there's so many cascading changes that are starting to happen. If I decide, well, since it's part of utils, yes, that's I can make that. Utils adder to pub key hash. Okay, tx dot utils dot adder to tx dot utils dot star. Oops. Was that really the first one? Let me bring this over from over here. I wonder if I should just make it so the keys is not an array, but rather a map. I don't like that idea because it makes it a hard dependency to have an address when you might not otherwise need one. So I'm voting no on that. The trick is to maximize the convenience and minimize the dependencies. It's a very difficult thing to do. Ah, crap. Okay, in my very own implementation, this is indeed the way it is. So I do have to make all those async, propagate all those async changes. Why does it have to be... Does it really? Is it really? Let me go check. Okay. Does verify actually have to be async? Verify hex is async because checksum is async, and checksum is async. Why? Because checksum raw hex is async. Because SHA-256 sum is async. That is why. Okay. I've gone all the way down the rabbit hole to the very end. Alright, well. We could do this without... We could not do verify. We could decode without verifying. Sorry again. Got to do what I got to do, you know? Using decode to avoid the async of verify. Gotta think about that one. Face orange raised eyebrow chill dog here. What? What's up, Nick Black? How you doing? Unfortunately, that did not come through for me. What are you up to? What are you doing? What brings you here? Who are you? Who are you? I don't know you. Stranger danger. My mama told me not to speak to strange men on the internet. Then I became one. Hex of raw pub key hash. All right. I feel like I know that I'm going to have to do this whole chain as asynchronous from top to bottom now. If it's allowed to pass in outputs that don't have a pub key hash. Because it is kind of a risk. Somebody could copy and paste it wrong. If you're not verifying that the hash matches, you could send the money into nowhere. So I'm going to come back to this. The emotes came out to the perfect riddle. Weird YouTube emotes. Oh, YouTube. Oh, you're on YouTube. Look, brother. You have to join the Twitch. Game theory, man. No, not game theory. Gamification. It's all about the gamification. Everybody wins when you get on Twitch. Everybody wins. You win, everybody else wins, everybody wins. But hey, you know, you watch where you feel comfortable. Don't let me persuade you with sound reason. There you go. I really don't want to make this whole thing async from top to bottom. I mean, I guess it might as well be, but it just feels like it shouldn't have to need to be. All right, that one's already async. Okay, hash and sign all is already async. Okay, what else is already async? Create key utils, that's not async. Hash and sign all is async. Create raw is not yet async and does not have to be async, right? No, it does. Create hashable. Create signed. How in the world is create signed not async? That doesn't even make any sense. Oh, because it's got the signed already in them. Right. It's because hash and sign all is using the other functions. Yeah. So, Nick, you let me know when you're back, okay? And if you have a different username, then let me know what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit there for now. I'm gonna have to. All right, so is it going to be dash keys? I think what we will have is if I can map out what I think the dependencies will be for any given project, the dependency will be, I'm just going to map this out here. It's going to be sec p 256k1. It's going to be dash keys, which is going to include base x, base 58, base 58 check, and ripe MD 160. And we're not going to make these transitive dependencies. We're just going to bundle them together. Because they're algorithms that just aren't used for any other thing. And then there's going to be dash TX. And this is going to have... It's going to assume that you have dash keys, or that at least you have these, I think. And then we're going to have dash HD. I think that's going to be how it goes. All right, getting back on task here. Multi-send. All right, what's broken? Oh, and I need to update that README. I didn't have a change address. I think there does need to be a safeguard on this. And it should be something like max fee per byte should be set to 1. Or no, I don't know. All right, I'm going to go back to this example. This is where I need to be right now. So change address. I think that there just should not be a change address. That shouldn't exist. Figure out what you want to spend, and then if you can, anything that you can't denominate back somewhere, you just get rid of. That's going to be the mentality of this, is that there is no change. You redenominate. Okay, wait, is this the same one? Yeah, alright, multi-send. Are you back yet, Nick? His base fee is $193. Yeah, this just needs some rethinking. So we need a satoshis per byte. We need a max fee. And the max fee will basically just be the smallest denomination that you're willing to accept back. So if we can't meet the smallest denomination, I'm just going to throw some thoughts in here. How to handle change. Satoshis per byte. And minimum denomination. If fee is okay. If there is more than, if what's being sent is more than satoshis per byte, satoshis per byte plus 1 per byte, if the leftover amount is more than satoshis plus 1 per byte, and let me think about this for a second. I know what I think I know what I'm trying to do. I'm just having trouble with the wording. So the acceptable range is going to be between n times satoshis per byte. Acceptable range is n times satoshis times bytes to n plus 1 times satoshis per byte. So that's the acceptable range. You set what you want to pay, and this is just what the fee is. You don't set the fee, you are charged the fee. And then if the leftover amount is less, No, if it's more than minimum acceptable denomination and well, let's do it this way. This is easier to phrase it. If the leftover amount is less than minimal acceptable donation or pay it as the fee. Otherwise, throw an error. Okay, I think that's the right logic. So we basically need to say that there's some range that you're willing to pay between, in the case of Dash, between 1 and 2 Satoshis per byte. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. So it should throw an error if there's too much money left over, unless you have something set that you want to allow. But if you want to allow more, then you just set the Satoshis per byte higher, and then you're good. Yeah, that should work out. You learned a new word called collation. That's awesome. Did I say that just now? I sometimes say that word. Now I got to remember what it means. Okay. So where are you from, Nick? What are you doing here? All right. Keys, core UTXOs, payments. So this is basically inputs and outputs. Create TX. It's going to reduce. All right, and this is that logic. Fee is equal to base fee. No. We're not going to have fee equal to base fee. Because we don't know what that means yet. So we're going to have let available duffs. Spend, did I use the word spendable in here? Yeah, this is a much better way to think about this. This simplifies it a lot. If we kind of invert the way we're thinking about it to be more the way the protocol works rather than tipping a driver. Because I think that's the way that the software was designed with the user experience of, well, I'm tipping my driver. And it's not quite what we're doing here. So base fee. Let's spent duffs. So I'm just gonna. I don't want to call things duffs. I just want to call them satoshis throughout. If we're gonna stick with the nomenclature for satoshi, then let's just stick with it hardcore. Payments. Dot reduce. Total. Output. Okay, return. What are we doing? Output. Total plus output. Dot Satoshis. And then the fee is going to be available duffs minus spent duffs. This isn't max fee, this is I'll just call it leftover. Unspent. Alright, so then we're going to calculate transaction cost. We don't really need to worry about this. We can just say right here, spendable, spent, unspent. If unspent is less than or equal to 190, which is the bare minimum. So let's call this min fee. Let min fee equals 190 or 191. Throw new error. Believe it or not, I live in Jakarta. 3 bandana wearing pirates dropped their laptop, and when I got home, laptop in hand, I found your channel. So I could believe that you live in Jakarta, because I don't even know what that is. I think I've heard it on TV. Indonesia, of course. My favorite travel destination. That's where Skillick was performing this January. I don't know if I... No, I don't know if I believe the part about 3 bandana wearing pirates. That part I'm kind of 50-50 on. Especially because pirates aren't known for their generosity. At least not in the movies I've seen. Alright, so we got that one. Unspent. Min fee is an error. And we could take this error. Overspend. Inputs total spendable duffs. But outputs total spent duffs, leaving no possible way to pay for the transaction. Alright. That's good. now I don't know what I was doing here, but I don't think that's the right approach. Payments. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna have let tx info equals inputs core UTXOs, outputs, payments, and then we need tx dot, I think it's estimate. Is that what I called it? So what do you want to learn, Nick? All right, tx dot estimate. Alright, so if unspent duffs are less than min fee, maybe we could just move this down. But outputs total blamp, which leaves no way to pay the minimum fee of min fee between and max fee. Let's see here. Okay, BlockTX estimate. Put that there. Okay, change. So we're going to change what the change is going to be. Okay. Yeah, I think I want something that's kind of higher level where you have an XPub for change. Oh, you want to learn a simple program? Well, I'm not gonna lie. This is not the best channel right now for learning simple programs. These programs are more complex, but you can ask me questions about simple programs and I will happily answer them for you. see here. All right, so what we should do is we should get an actual calculation. Let's see. We should just kind of assume the max fee. This is such a small percentage of the overall bytes. It's basically, let's see, 1% would be, yeah, it's 1%. There's a variation of 1%. Well, I guess it's a little bit, it's closer to 2% because we're only looking at the number of bytes in the key. Yeah, okay. All right, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay. All right. So we can estimate. I'm trying to think of what the rules are for this. I don't really need to think about these rules right now. I need to think about these rules when I get to the wallet, but I'm just kind of simmering on this because the amount you pay changes based on how many payments you're making in a transaction and stuff like that. I am making many small complex programs. So they're not necessarily simple because they're not dealing with simple things. It's cryptography and hashing, and I mean, I guess you could say that those are abstracted away to be simple. And then this one is dealing with cyclic fee calculation. So that is not something that's generally simple. So we have non-deterministic fees, and so we have to predict what the fee is going to be, and then sign the transaction, and then see if the fee matches what we predicted. Because there's an amount of randomness in the signatures that causes the fee to change ever so slightly by a little bit, which makes me want to just say we should always calculate the max fee rather than the minimum fee, because the difference is so little. Okay, it's on average is about 1%. I said 2% there, but I should say 1%. Because on average, that's what it is. It's just not worth. It's not worth the time that it takes to think about it. Okay, so I will go back up here. Yeah, this what I'm thinking of for this just needs to be completely separate function, because I'm thinking that we take in a change HD key, which we can use to generate any number of additional keys, and a desired denominational output, and we say, okay, here are the ones, here's the payments I want to make. Here, really what I want it to be is here's the XPub key and the payment that I want to make, and then here's the XPub key and the change I want to receive back, and then some sort of strategy on how to denominate that. Okay, I'll consider the sats thing. Okay. Yeah. The hard part is not the code right now. The hard part is the processes that are going back and forth in my brain as I'm thinking about not necessarily the lines I'm looking at right now, but I'm projecting into the future. Okay, I'm going to be working on this wallet stuff. This same problem that I solved here, this is not an adequate solution. But I think for right now, I think this one should go back to the change address idea. Yeah, this one just needs to be more conventional. So we can split the difference between these two. Let fee spread equals max fee minus min fee. Let likely fee, which there's a 75% chance that the fee will be in the middle or below. Not a 50% chance, a 75% chance, at least. So the likely fee is going to be, okay, let's do half fee spread is going to be fee spread divided by 2 math dot seal. And then let likely fee, well, I guess we could go, it doesn't matter whether we do seal or floor. Nah, we'll go with sealing. And then likely fee is minimum fee plus half fee spread. Okay. So we will take let unspent duffs. No, let change equals unspent duffs minus likely fee. And then if change is greater than dust, change is 0. Okay, so we're back to the original amount here. Cost of a a single input, single output TX is between 191 and 193. Alright, there we go. It's not a base fee, it's a minimum fee. Unreachable let after throw. Yeah. Create TX, change. So we don't really need to do the cyclic fee estimation. We're just gonna let's see. Maybe we do need to do this cyclic fee estimation. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So then highly sought after in Jakarta are program workers. I'm not a worker yet. I could get a job coding Java, but I applied for the C++ job. I can also make impressive phone calls for money. Interesting. Make impressive phone calls. What's an example of an impressive phone call? Okay. I'm going to go back into my balance transfer bit here. Let's go back to blocktx.create right here. And then see what this multiple inputs, multiple outputs thing looks like. Okay. Okay, so the sign TX we need to provide. Let me go grab that again. Okay. Moving on down. All right, and then the keys here, we needed to adjust this as well so that the keys match the addresses. Wait. This is not multiple in and multiple out. It's okay. I will make it so. I change the example to use your key and remove the error. This is, I'll probably just copy over from balance transfer. We've got the whiffs, keys, all this stuff here. Impressive phone calls. Sir, I promise this candle I'm smelling is worth every penny. Pina colada. You on vacation the day of. Alright, so we had all of this bit here. Okay, this one's pretty much the same. So let's bring this in, bring this back up to the top. And that's going to be pretty much the same thing that was over there. And then we've got keys. Whiff to private key. Whiff to adder. Yep, all these things again. I don't sell any old laptop. This is state of the art. It bends and closes to protect itself. This is unique. You can't break. Oh. Whoops. What'd I do? Come on. Where's the... Oops, it broke. I spelled Aladdin wrong. Yeah, there we go. Where's the clip at? Come on. Well, does this work? What? No. There we go. There we go. That was it. I don't know if you heard it. That's what that made me think of. Okay, we'll get the music going again. Okay, B15C. Yeah, there's so many moving parts to this. Definitely need dash keys to integrate everything together. Because this just feels too much. Now, it was, oh, there's a simple example. But then You have to translate this. You have to translate that. Okay, so basically, let's just take this balance transfer one. And then its main function. I don't know why I put that up here. All these should go down below. I like to put the helper functions down below so that they don't get in the way. Alright, we don't need this BlockTX.estimate anymore because now it's actually in the main one. Alright, so that shortens that up. Okay, so the question here was more of the multiple outputs. So we have the main pay adder. Okay, so let's say we take the multi-send. You know, I think. Okay, I'm gonna continue with this, but I think I'm kind of barking up the wrong tree here. Pay adder 1 amount. Multi-send. You can add parts to this laptop. It cleans itself. That's great, Nick. Let's see, what have I got in the README here? Oh, whoops. This would not be. There we go. I think it looked more clear before. Let me go back. There we go. A resistor, it's very unusual science. I think it absorbs dirt through evaporation. What are you just grabbing stuff out of GPT chat? Is that what you're doing? Are you just asking Chat GPT to sell you a laptop? Nick, are you sure that you're not a bot? Do you know? How would you know? How would you know, Nick, that you're not a bot? Have you ever felt like maybe the world isn't real? Have you ever thought that you might just be a program? Someone else's reality? Okay, it says redeclared block scope variable keys. Okay, keys. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. That's the same. Payment adders. So payments. Payment pairs. Okay, DashTX again. Oh, and a quick reminder from myself, to you. If you like what you like, you get more what you like. So consider like, sub, follow. This is the Dash Incubator channel. I'm not going to be the only one programming on this channel. We'll have other people programming on this channel too. Jojo Byte will also be programming on this channel, at least. There may be more. Wait, what the letter L? What is going on? Did I not put these things down at the bottom? I am so confused right now. I could have sworn that I moved these to the bottom. I must move to the bottom. Move them to the bottom in the other file. Oh. No, they are at the bottom. Kind of, sort of. Oh, I see what's going on here. Alright. Never mind. Everything's fine. Everything is just fine. Alright. Alright, then we do need to do the payments. We need to split up the payments. So let payments, and then for let payment pair of payment pairs. We're going to keep this one simple. You have to include... No, you don't. You don't have to include the amount because the very last address is the change address. Okay. If not pair 1, let's break change adder equals Last address is change address. Okay. Let's Satoshis equals pair 0 parse int 10. Throw new error. You can only have one change address. Pay adder with no sats. I'm gonna try on sats for size. Okay, pair 0 is going to be address. Satoshis will be sats. Wait. Okay, and then payments. I should give an example of what this looks like. Sure. Say example. You're considering that you're turning into a bot? Would it be more lucrative? Would you make more money as a bot? We start as human but turn into computers at the end. It feels good. Prior to human life, there have been many delineations of computer life. Maybe the reason we don't remember anything is from all the weird lives that are not a human one, maybe. Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. Okay. Example. Okay, well there's that again. I should probably change that in the other one and then move that where, whoops, move it from where it was to out of the way. Let me go back here. All right. Okay, this multi-send is it's getting to the point where they're almost the same thing. Maybe I don't actually need two of these. But yeah, I'll need to spend more time on this create TX function later and figure out where it goes. I think when I get to the wallet stuff is when I'll really figure that one out. Let's see. We don't need this here. This can actually go back up to the top. And then that's just UTXOs. Alright. I'm starting to feel the hunger. Okay, and then we don't actually need any of that. We just need -tx hash and sign all tx info. Where's my tx info? Oh, we've got the... Okay. Likely fee. Change. No. Alright, this is confusing because we've got our outputs here. Okay, I kind of see why they did the API the way they did, with the change address being separate. But yeah, I definitely want to make this function based on xpubs, not based on the individual bits here. Oh, I'm so excited to do my next payment this way. The way that I'm thinking with the xpubs. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I just need a web app with JojoByte so that I can pay people this way. Okay. Yep. There's not as much code getting on the screen as there is just stuff going through my brain and me thinking through scenarios, you know. All right, hash and sign all. Wait, what line is it complaining about? 167? I can take a look at line 167. Let's do it. Oh. I'm definitely getting a sense for where the annoying bits are in this. Alright. No, this is not async, this is await. There we go. So to have math dot seal. Oh. That has to be correct. Alright, so we're turning the transaction hex into bytes, which is going to be the fee. Okay. And then we have to say, okay, so what's the cost of the output? Alright, so if change, then payments dot C. Outputs equals txinfo dot outputs dot slice. So what I got to do here is make a copy of the outputs because I'm going to insert another payment to the change address. And the amount of the change. There we go. So if there's change, we're going to copy the outputs, and then we're going to add an output onto those outputs, which is the change address and the change amount. And then we're going to calculate the transaction. And then this is really not... We got rid of a lot of stuff here. New fee. Yeah, I think we pretty much eliminated all of that. This actually got a lot simpler that way. So output size, okay. So if actual fee is less than or equal to likely fee, break. Otherwise, we're going to increase the likely fee by 1. Let's call this real fee. Alright, so let me walk through this one more time in my mind, and then we'll take a look at it in the Explorer perhaps. Oh, and I need this other function, hash public key. We don't need all these debugs in there. Yeah, all these dependencies travel together. They just love each other. Two public keys defined but never used. Fine. Fine, don't use it then. Fine. I'm actually going to move all these down. I don't want them here. I want to kind of in the way of being able to understand what the application's doing. Okay. Did we accidentally get stuck on one song or something? I feel like we've been listening to the same one. Am I mistaken? All right. Okay, so we're going to take our inputs, and that's our spendable amount. We're going to take our payments, and that's our spent amount. And then we're going to check to see if our unspent amount is less than the minimum fee. So we need to recalculate the unspent amount at some point. We're not doing that yet. Well, let's see. Do we... So we're actually going to do likely fee. Okay. So let's go back here. And we're going to say this is our likely fee. And maybe I need to update estimate. Maybe I should call it estimate and estimates. So estimates will give high and low. and then estimate will just give a single 1. This one sounds different. Oh, that's my call to go to dinner. Hello. Yes. Hold on a second. I don't know what happened there. Alright, but I'll have to go in just a minute. Let me wrap this up at least. Let's see. Min and max fees. What do we call it? Median fee. 75% likely to be accepted. Calculates the median fee, which is 75% likely to be correct. Fee less than or equal to 25% likely to be correct, and maximum fees. Maybe it should include the middle number as well. On 100% likely to Yes?
Dinner.
Okay, I am wrapping up. Okay, calculates the median fee. Returns number. Alright, Nick, thanks for letting me go. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for just a minute because I'm just about done with this. And then I'm going to go for dinner and may come back afterwards. Probably will come back sometime afterwards. Probably around 8 or 9. It's 6 right now, for reference. 607 to be precise. Okay. Alright, so what we're saying is... I got the median fee. Median fee. So this is our possible change. It's going to be what is unspent plus the cost of the change, which is the output size cost. So every time we had an output, we increased by the output size. So we subtract the median fee from the unspent plus the output size. And if that's less than the dust, then change is equal to 0. But if there's change, then we push on the output. And then if the real fee is less than or equal to the median fee, then we've won. Otherwise, we have to increase the median fee. And if median fee is greater than unspent duffs, then we'll do the same thing. Overspend. Inputs total outputs total, and the fee is outputs plus fee is total. What were they thinking? They should have just always, well, I guess they couldn't do anything. Yeah, they should. They should have just always accounted for the maximum amount of padding. And they should have just, they should have just padded it out. This is so complex that you can't know what the fee is ahead of time, because the fee is based on the signed message, not based on the pre-signed message, and the signature is of a variable length. This is just really, really annoying. It's tedious. Okay, but I think I got it. Let's see. Oops. Let's try... Come on. I know... Oh, it was like this. So here's our example with the balance transfer. And we're going to try the same thing with the multi-send. Outputs list cannot be empty. All right. Okay, so I need to have this be at least, say, 10,000. Console.log payments. Oh, interesting. So why did this not work? Oh. That's why. Alright, well I'm going to have to check this out afterwards and finish fixing it. And then we'll move on to the CrowdNode stuff. We will. We'll move on to the CrowdNode one. And that one is a little bit better, at least, in that we're dealing with known fixed sizes. And we can copy all this stuff over. I might just want to pull in dash keys for that. Let me double check on here. Dash keys. Yeah, so here's all the helper functions. I think that I'm just going to pull these helper functions in. Oops. And yeah, just say that for now I'm going to leave these 3 dependencies as is, but dash keys is going to have everything configured properly. I might pull both of these into dash keys. I'm not going to pull that one in, but I might pull both of these in because there's, yeah, I think I should, because there's no alternate implementation. I mean, there's just, it is what it is. The algorithm is the algorithm, and they're not particularly complex. I mean, they're hashes and encoders, but they're not. You're not going to create a native version or for those in particular. Anyway, all right, I'm out. So we're going to find somebody to raid if we can. Ryan, are you on still? Can I get the verification code from your phone? And then I need to actually send that verification code again. Okay. Verify. Security, privacy, enable account creation. Doot. Oh, dang it. Oh, can't do that. Okay, we can still raid. I just can't comment. Or maybe we can't raid. We'll see. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can raid anybody. I'm gonna check and I'm gonna try. Let me see if anybody that I follow is on presently. And it doesn't look like there is. So for the time being... Oh, Strager's on. I'm going to try. I'm going to try and see if we can raid him. Give me 1 second here. Yep, can't raid because the account's not verified. Okay, so we just have to say goodbye then. Let us have a moment of silence and solace. And then let us say adios.